Hello everyone, welcome. Let's check out the game between Magnus Carlsen and Abdusattorov. They are currently playing in the Fide Rapid and Blitz World Championship. So Magnus opened with b3. Abdusattorov played e5. Magnus played bishop b2. Abdusattorov played knight c6. Magnus played e3. Abdusattorov played knight f6. Magnus played knight f3. Bishop d6. c4. Castle. d3. Rook e8. a3. a5. Bishop e2. Bishop back to f8. Magnus castle. Abdusattorov played d5. Magnus takes c into d5. Abdusattorov takes with knight into d5 and played knight b to d2. f6 was played by Abdusattorov. Queen c2. Bishop f5. Rook e1. Bishop g6. Here Magnus played very important move, expanding a pawn on the g file. He played g4. It is a very risky move, opening his king. Abdusattorov respond with queen d7. It is attacking the g4 pawn. Magnus respond with king h1. If Abdusattorov wants to take with queen into g4, then he has intermediate move knight into e5, and here Abdusattorov's queen is attacked, so it has to take back, let's say, queen e6. Then knight can take the bishop, so white is up a pawn. So Abdusattorov cannot take that pawn on g4. Instead he played a rook d8, rook a to d8. Magnus played knight e4, king h8 by Abdusattorov, rook a to d1, defending this d3 pawn. Bishop f7, rook g1. Magnus' plan was rook g1 to rook g3 and another rook from d to g1 and attacking on the king side. Abdusattorov respond with knight b6. He wants to attack on the queen side. Rook g3, a4. Magnus has to take b into a4, otherwise a bishop will take the pawn on b3 and attack queen and rook simultaneously. So Magnus has to take b into a4. And Abdusattorov played knight a5. Now again threatening bishop b3. So Magnus moves his rook from d to g. Rook g1. Abdusattorov played bishop d5, g5. Magnus advances his attack on the king side. Abdusattorov played f5, attacking the knight on the center. So Magnus takes it back and plays knight c3. Now bishop c6, e4, knight into a4, knight into a4, bishop into a4, queen c3, played by Magnus. Knight c6, g6, again advancing his pawn on the king side to crush the black king. Abdusattorov played knight d4, attacking the undefended bishop. Without carrying the bishop, Magnus played knight to g5 and he sacrificed his bishop. So Abdusattorov takes his bishop. Here is very classy made pattern for Magnus, but he missed it. He played knight to f7. It is also winning, but not as much as queen c4. Here the plan is, if knight takes rook, then rook takes knight, and rook has to move to e7 to defend the knight f7, knight h6 checkmate. Here Magnus has very clear plan, g into h7, and on the next move, let's say black play c6, any other move, then queen to g8 is checkmate, very beautiful checkmate. But Magnus does not play that move. Instead, he played knight f7 check. Abdusattorov takes the knight. Magnus takes back with pawn. Abdusattorov takes Magnus queen. Magnus takes rook with a pawn. Abdusattorov take back with a bishop. B into c3 by Magnus. And here Abdusattorov played bishop g6, e4 into f5, e into f5. Abdusattorov takes with bishop, bishop into f5. Magnus again take undefended pawn on e5 with bishop, bishop into e5. And now here Abdusattorov made a mistake of taking d3 pawn. He takes with the bishop. But here is one thing that Magnus is clearly winning. Only one move is required, and it is a rook into g7. If bishop takes, then rook can take again, and black king is in checkmate. So black has to move his rook to d5 to take the bishop. White is giving check from discovered check from rook g5. Black rook has to take bishop, and rook can take the rook, and white is up a lot of material and is winning. So after rook g7, Abdusattorov has resigned.